Many of the birds come to rest just 350 miles to the south, in a place with mysteries and secrets of its own. This is a river, perhaps the most unusual river on Earth. It is 100 miles long, 50 miles wide, and only 6 inches deep. The current flows leisurely, slowly, at an average of 1 foot a minute. Native Americans who live on its banks call it paheoki, or grassy water. On early maps of Florida, this incredible river of grass is identified as the Everglades. Covering the entire southern end of the great Floridian Peninsula, this is one of the most abundant natural ecological systems that ever evolved. The Everglades teem with life. This ecosystem supports more than 350 species of birds, including the magnificent snowy egret. Its plumes were once prized decorations for women's hats, and the snowy egret was all but hunted to extinction. If egrets are the flying aristocracy of the Everglades, then the manatee must be the waterborne jester of the swamplands. This baleful-looking creature, sometimes called a sea cow, peacefully grazes the grassy beds of marine plants. Believe it or not, Tales of the Sea credit the manatee with being the basis for the mermaid legend. If that is true, the sailor who imagined it must have been at sea a very long time. Of the many wild species living in the Everglades, among the rarest is this big tawny cat, the Florida panther. The Everglades are the last stronghold of panthers anywhere in the eastern United States. Though protected, the panthers are still disappearing even here, where the environment itself is in a constant state of renewal and change. After late winter drought has dried the river grass, lightning-induced fires sometimes sweep through the Everglades. When autumn storms churn in from the Caribbean, they can wreak devastation, but also build new habitats as sand, silt, and earth are shifted and redistributed. Today, mangroves, trees that can grow in salt water, are spreading in vast groves from the southwest as less and less fresh water makes its way downstream. Silt and mud collect around the mangrove roots, gradually turning swamp into solid land. The wild population of the Everglades is changing too. More and more West Indian creatures, mostly birds, are finding their way here from the islands of the Caribbean. It is an uncommonly fragile environment, one of conflicts, contrasts, and continual interaction and adjustment. The Everglades are one of America's richest wildlife regions. Ironically, despite its advantageous climate, many experts consider this to be our nation's most imperiled wilderness. Some 1.4 million acres have been set aside as Everglades National Park. Rangers and naturalists of the Park Service are battling man-made forces well beyond their boundaries just to keep the park alive. Vast stretches of Everglades outside the park have already been lost. 70 miles to the north, at the headwaters of the River of Grass, is Lake Okeechobee, the wellspring for life through much of southern Florida. Each year during the summer rains, The lake overflows its banks, sending a sheet of water fanning out across the lowlands and nourishing the Everglade marshes. But man's floodgates, ditches, and canals now divert much of that water to huge corporate farms, coastal cities, and burgeoning suburbs. Today, the Everglades are merely a remnant, only 1/5 their size some 150 years ago. Pollution is further tipping the ecological scales. Both industry and agriculture undermine the water's vitality. But can anyone deny that this area is worth saving? Even in its diminished state, the Everglades are impressive. The vast watery prairies of sawgrass, the hammocks, those low islands with their jungle-like tangles of ferns and air plants, the dazzling variety of exotic orchids, one of the most magnificent natural collections in the world, the creatures to whom the sea of grass and snarled mangrove swamps are home and sanctuary.